Thank you again for joining our podcast today. The topic is the right to choose. We have been given the right to choose, unlike all other beings, to be or not to be. Because we are the only creatures given the power to choose. And yet it is still hard for us to choose that makes us happier, to be more peaceful. So one may ask, why is that? So why is it that we dwell on things, especially things that brings us more suffering, worrying? We live in the future. We rent space to our worrying and troubled mind. And maybe rightfully so if you have any childhood trauma or have faced what may seem unfair to you in life. But at the same, we can find ways to face anything and deal with it face to face. And unfortunately, some of us remain damaged forever or for a long time. Not realizing that we have the power to choose where we want to be, how we want to live, what life experience we choose to be in. Have you ever had a self-fulfilling prophecy that you fear most happened? Relationships are a perfect example. So let's dive in on that. I was one of those in relationships. I liked the feelings in a new relationship, and I would tell myself that things are always going to be this way. And when something happens to threaten the relationship, then I'm the first one out the door. Never thinking or asking myself, how did we get here? How did I contribute to this? But instead, it feels better to blame the other person and go running to be in another relationship. And guess what? The same thing happens again and again. And I keep running. And I kept running. And guess what? Because I'm not able to address whatever that is, my part, my flaws, they all come with me. They follow me from one relationship to the next. Until one day, when I finally got tired, I was able to honestly sit and ready to look into the mirror and ask myself, why? Why do I have this type of relationships, and why do they end this way? Is it me? Or is it just that I'm unlucky? And so part of it, I knew it was me. But then I wanted to know, to ask myself, looking in the mirror. Then what is it? And so I had to just bear it out. Just have it come out, as horrible as it made me feel. The way it sounded, it came out. I sat there and I said it. Tears rolling down. Because I was so tired of failed relationships. I realized that I was making that choice to choose the type of people that either are the same. If they cheat from one relationship to the next, you have to realize something is wrong. And I was just on that loop of repeating and same thing happening. But it didn't matter. I had to make a choice of what I wanted and whom I wanted it with. I was tired of failed relationships, so I believed if I face my issues and I'm totally honest of what and how I participate in relationships, and also what I do or how I sabotage my relationships, then I wouldn't be so scared of spending the rest of my life lonely. I was scared just thinking about living my life and walking in this life's journey by myself. That was my biggest fear. But there I was, creating this mess and living it. My worst nightmare of being alone. My contributions in that relationships or in those relationships. I was living my worst nightmare. And I didn't even realize that I was part of the problem. So the choice to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself, it gives you power. That you know now you can choose who you want to be. And the amount of work you're going to have to work on yourself to become that person. All of you, we all can find love. If you stop for once, you realize your dates, your relationships turns cold very quickly, and you are still single and yet you are longing for a companion. You can do the same, or seek a professional, and you be glad you did. I am very lucky because I found the most compassionate, loving, caring, supportive man I never thought I would find, because I was willing to do the work on myself, to bring about that power, to believe that if I worked on myself to be a good woman, a man can be proud of, then a good man will also spot me from a distance. I wanted to become a good woman so that when the right man comes along, my relationship will not repeat its history. So I had unleashed my authentic power, living the truth, and letting go of the fear and blaming. I knew I had the right to choose. And I chose to take power in my heart to keep the next relationship. So if you feel damaged or afraid or depressed because of relationships, you can choose not to be damaged. You can choose not to be afraid. And you can choose not to let a relationship depresses you. All it needs is willingness. Because where there's a will, there's a way. And you can choose to see mistakes as learning experiences. Not that it's the end of the world or of the relationship. So I have developed this attitude that when something happens to me, the first thing I ask is, God, what is this teaching me? This may sound crazy. Sometimes I hear the voice saying, wait, be patient, but observe. Observe what happens through this process. Wait and be patient. Negative experience doesn't define who we are. When everything is going the way you want, you feel most powerful, isn't it? So each day we can choose to be powerless or to be powerful. I say to myself, I choose today to be a beautiful day. I choose to appreciate all nature just the way it is. I choose to celebrate each day upon waking up because some never wake up. I choose to see the glass half full rather than half empty. So some people, they fear to be powerful, to own that power. Because being powerful to them is seen as the power over others, like you being the boss. Whereas feeling powerful comes from your inner strength, trusting that you have the power in your hands to choose how you feel today. And the empowerment is really just focusing on just today. And not worrying about tomorrow. Letting tomorrow be for tomorrow. And let yesterday be left behind. And living in the now. Because then there's less worry. So when we believe we are powerful, psychologically we are transformed. without feeling that you are powerful comes fear, comes less confidence. And sometimes you can even tell by the person's posture that they just don't have it. They don't have what it takes. So when you feel content and seeing the best out of any situation, or seeing the best in people, you realize it gives you a tremendous power. When you are able to set boundaries, so we all have this authentic power, and all it takes is a willingness to choose. Thank you for listening. Until next time, Namaste.